tensions prevailed last evening in Dharmasthala as the SIT is continuing the probe of the claims that have been made by a former sanitation worker who said that he was forced to bury many people, bodies of many people linked to acts of crimes over the last several decades. So the SIT, remember, is continuing these investigations, and as the SIT continues, high drama also broke out in Dharmasthala yesterday. YouTubers who have been covering the case were attacked by a mob of around 50 people who accused them of defaming the temple town. Now, these are the visuals of the ruckus that took place, the chaos that ensued. In fact, Ajay Anshan, who runs a YouTube channel, Abhishek as well as Santosh Shetty, 3 YouTubers were allegedly assaulted. They were admitted to the hospital as well. In fact, this was after the ruckus that broke out. The police officials had to intervene. They resorted to Lathi charge to bring the situation under control, but even they were allegedly attacked. In fact, the police officials had to also call in additional force to tackle the crowd. Media vehicles that were parked there were also attacked. The cops, however, managed to get control of the entire crowd. Protests later also broke out, gathering at Dharmasthala. The protesters were outside the Dharmasthala police station and started protesting there, saying this should not be allowed.
Dharmasthala police station, where lots of people have gathered, saying that the people who have been campaigning on behalf for the past couple of weeks now, that there is a whistleblower who has come out with made serious allegations. They're saying that all this is fictitious and all this is done to damage the reputation of the temple town of Dharmasthala. Joining with us one of the localite here, Mr. Sandesh. Today evening, what happened? There was stones were pelted, there was a lathi charge happened. What do you have to say on that violence which would happen?
See, how long a person can be patient? Today we are all impatient, because that's what I'm telling you. For the last 10, 12 years, we've been listening to these false accusations. We've been listening to these false news. Every other day, some or the other new guys comes up with an AI video and he's been maligning our place. We as localites, we've been just sitting quiet just because for the respect of the place, the temple and Puja Kavanduru, we are sitting quiet. That doesn't mean that we also are like, we have our limits. Now we have all lost our limits. Like, enough is enough. Don't want social media trials. Let the SIT or any government appointed investigation agency do their job. Yeah. We are fine with it. But we don't want social media trial. That's all we want.
The primary reason appears to be that these local people feel that the name of Dharmasthala has been spoiled by a certain group. And this is the primary reason which they told is the reason for assault. Whatever the reason may be, the assault is taken very strongly, and whatever evidence is there, we will verify it and then act appropriately. 3 YouTubers have been assaulted by one group, and it is on the other side, one of the media personnel who is allegedly in support of Dharmasthala have been assaulted by the opposite group. So both the groups claim that the opposite group is not telling the correct fact, and so both the things we have to be verified, and based on whatever documentary and the video evidences are there, we will decide on it.
Meanwhile, the special investigation team probing the Dharmasthala burial case did not find any skeletal remains at the new spot shown by the complainant, which is near site number 11 inside the forest area. Remember, on Monday, the SIT had recovered some skeletal remains after the complainant pointed towards them lying on the ground around the same area on Monday. But when the SIT dug at the same spot yesterday, nothing was found. Today, the SIT is likely to dig at site number 13. So the investigations are continuing, and my colleague Imran is joining us on the broadcast with the details. Imran, yesterday we saw a lot of ruckus. There is some anger among the local residents, clearly alleging that this is defaming the temple town. What's expected today, and also take us through what the SIT investigations have found so far?
Well, the SIT has put out a statement that they have found 2 skeletal remains in site number 6 and site number 11A, and this is the site which is just close back to 11A, and they're calling it as 11A site. Now, totally 100 plus bone fragments have been found by the SIT in all these places, and they're putting together, they sent for forensics at the Manipali Institute to do a lot further forensics and identify who this skeleton belongs to, what is the history of it, and who the person is, and whether it's a natural or unnatural death. Now this is a further long investigation by SIT. Today also too, as part of the investigations, they are going to investigate start digging further at site number 11A and probably move on to site number 13 is what the SIT is informing. But yesterday's incident also has put the town in a very tense situation. We saw that there is supporters of people who want investigation and who are supporting the whistleblower, and also the people who are saying that these activists are bringing bad name to the people and resorted to violence and attacking journalists and also journalists working in social media. So we saw this huge tense atmosphere. Yesterday, police had a hard time controlling the crowd. They had to use Lathi charge twice to disperse the crowd yesterday. In fact, some of the protesters even went to the Dharmasthala police station and started protesting in front of the police station, demanding that those who are maligning the temple town needs to be arrested immediately. Now the police have managed to disperse both the crowd and today, but however both the groups have called for a protest today. The police have called an additional reserve force into the town to prevent any untoward incident.
Okay, all right. Imran, thank you for joining us with those details. The investigations are continuing and people are also waiting with suspense. Is there any truth to what the former sanitation worker has said, or is it all made up? So the investigations are continuing and we're keeping a track of that.